Good morning, class 4. Today's writing lesson, you're going to get ready for possibly tomorrow or Wednesday doing a piece of writing based on the start of Wild Robot. You're going to be writing the introduction where there's a cargo ship on the ocean and then a storm arrives and sinks the boat, and the crates are then floating around on the ocean and they get washed up against the shore of the island. So to help you plan your writing, just like you would normally do in class, I've prepared a bit of a planning sheet for you. And I'm gonna show you now by sharing my screen how I would like you to plan your writing. So if you go to Purple Mash, let's have a look, see if I can get it open. Okay, here we go. So if you go to Purple Mash, and then in your to-dos, you will get an alert here to say that you have a to-do in your folder. And then it's the Wild Robot planning sheet that I'd like you to look at for your writing lesson. Let's have a look at it. Here we go. So you've got a Wild Robot planning sheet. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to describe the ocean. Now you'll recognize these little dashes from when we do our planning in class, and these are your sentences. So the first sentence is you need to tell me that there will be a cargo ship on the ocean. Now, you're not doing that today. I've put that in for you already. The next sentence, you'll tell me about the ship being loaded with crates of robots or crates of just, you want to leave that a secret for the moment. It's up to you. So you'll write one sentence about the cargo ship being on the ocean, another sentence about the ship being full of crates. And then you're going to describe the ocean. So what I've done is I've done 3 numbers here. And they're the 3 things that I'd like you to describe about the ocean. So you're going to choose 3 things to describe, one for each sentence. So you've got one sentence about the cargo ship, one sentence about it being full of crates, and then 3 things to describe the ocean. And all you've got to do today for this part of this box, this one here, is choose 3 things that you would like to describe about the ocean. There's lots of possible things. So I'm going to just jot a few down. And then when you do your to-do, you've just got to pick 3 ideas. So here's some examples. So we're on the ocean. So you could describe, quite obviously, the water. Okay. You could describe the waves. You could describe the weather. So if it's sunny. And I don't want there to be a storm just yet. So just stick to the weather being warm. So you could describe the sun. There might be a bit of wind you could describe. You could see some fish just beneath the surface of the water. There could be some birds hovering above. There could be seaweed floating in the water. There might be a salty smell in the air. If you want to think of your own, that's fine. But I would just like you to choose 3 of these things. I'm going to do the water and the waves together for number 1. So my first sentence I'm describing the ocean will be about the water and the waves. You're not describing it today. Today, you're just planning what you're going to write about tomorrow. Number 2, once I've described the sun waves, I want to describe the red hot sun burning in the sky, baking the ship's deck and the ocean. Something about the sun. I don't know why I've got a capital letter for that. So the sun. Finally, I think it'd be quite nice to have fish and birds. So I can describe the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky. Everything else now I can just delete. So when I come to my writing tomorrow, I have got my 3 sentences to describe. So ocean description. First, I need to say there's a cargo ship floating on the surface of the ocean in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You can come up with these sentences tomorrow. It's full of crates. Then my next sentence after that will be the water and the waves. So I can delete the number and just leave the dashes. So water and waves. My next one, I'm going to describe the sentence describing the sun. And finally, I'm going to have a sentence describing the fish and the birds. So that's that task done. First part done. Ocean description, all ready to write sentences tomorrow. Now, storm description. So you're going to pick 3 things to describe about a storm. So suddenly, what could you describe about a storm? You could describe the clouds. You could describe lightning. You could describe thunder. You could describe rain. You could describe the wind. There might not be wind, it might be hail, it might be snow even. You could describe the waves becoming larger and larger, crashing against the ship. If you have your own ideas, that's brilliant, but there's a few. So I need to pick 3 of these. So I'm going to build it up nice and slowly. So I'm going to have clouds first. Then I'm going to have the wind and rain. Finally, let's have some thunder and lightning. There's my idea, so I can get rid of these. So I'm going to describe my first sentence about the storm is suddenly dark clouds approached the ship. Next one, wind and rain. The wind howled in the air and rain hammered the deck. And then a sentence about thunder and lightning. So let's get rid of the numbers. So my first sentence is about the clouds, then a dash. Then my next sentence is the wind and rain, dash. My next sentence is thunder and lightning. Then the ship's going to sink, and then the crates are going to smash against the rocks of the shore. Okay, I'm excited now for writing this tomorrow. So we've done our ocean description. We've planned our storm description. Finally, you're going to describe the robot. So the next day, the weather had calmed. There's one sentence. Scattered across the rocks was a robot graveyard with limbs and torsos of robots all over. And then you're going to see one crate was intact. So further up the shore, one crate had survived and managed to make it intact. Inside this crate was a robot. So now you're going to choose 5 things to describe on your robot. So I could describe the robot's torso. I could describe the robot's arms. I could describe the robot's computer panel. I could describe the robot's eyes. And finally, I could describe the sound the robot makes. Again, once you've picked your 5 ideas, if you delete your numbers and just use it like we do in class, dashes, so you know that that's going to be a new sentence. This is exactly what you need to do today. So by the end of your writing lesson, spend about 45 minutes to an hour on this. So by the end of your writing lesson, you should have some ideas that you're going to write about the ocean, some ideas about the storm, and some ideas about the robot. And that should be all ready for tomorrow when you start putting these ideas into full sentences. But today, I don't want you to worry about the sentences. Just make sure that you have got a really good plan so you know what you're going to write about come tomorrow. Once you've done that, if you save it, I'll be able to have a look at it and I'll see if you've done it right. If you haven't, I'll redo the work, put some comments for you and give you a little bit of help. Like all lessons now, when you're learning at home, I would like you to save it and hand it in to me and I'll give you a bit of feedback. Thank you. Good luck. I hope you enjoy it. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to get back to this video in order to stop it. Let's have a look. There we go. Stop sharing. Stop.